Hey Cowboys Nation, you're not going to believe what just dropped. It's one of the biggest, most shocking pieces of news we've had in recent memory, and honestly, nobody saw it coming. Trevon Diggs, yes, the Trevon Diggs, the explosive cornerback who turned heads with his incredible rookie season. The playmaker who led the NFL in interceptions and brought so much energy and hope to the Dallas Cowboys defense, he is officially out of Dallas. Just a few months after signing that blockbuster $120 million contract, the Cowboys have decided to part ways with him, and this move is sending shockwaves through the league, the fans, and everyone who's been following this team closely. It's honestly hard to process because, let's be real, Trevon Diggs was supposed to be a cornerstone of this team for years to come. His knack for reading quarterbacks, his ball-hawking skills, and his ability to make game-changing plays were integral to the Cowboys' defensive identity. And here we are, with the team suddenly saying goodbye to him, and many are left wondering why this happened and what it means for the Cowboys moving forward. Now, this isn't just some rumor or speculation. Multiple credible sources have confirmed that Trevon Diggs has been released by Dallas. That means he's no longer on the roster, and the Cowboys have made this official decision despite the fact that he was locked into one of the most lucrative contracts ever signed by a cornerback. When you hear $120 million, that's not a small investment. That's a statement by the Cowboys that they were committing to Diggs as a franchise player. So how did things change so fast? What led to this drastic decision? From what we're piecing together, it appears to be a mix of factors: salary cap pressures, locker room dynamics that may have shifted behind the scenes, and perhaps a change in the team's strategic direction. The Cowboys are reportedly looking to clear cap space and rebuild parts of their defense with younger, cheaper talent or through the draft. It's a harsh reality of the NFL business. Sometimes even your best players become casualties of financial and roster management decisions. But what really surprises everyone is that this all happened so soon after signing that massive contract extension, which only deepens the mystery. Diggs was not only a top-tier talent but also someone who had developed chemistry with the coaching staff and his teammates. His presence on the field brought confidence to the secondary and a real sense of playmaking ability that the Cowboys desperately needed. For example, his interceptions and forced turnovers were often game-changing moments, swinging momentum and helping the Cowboys secure critical wins. He wasn't just a defensive back, he was a weapon in coverage, a leader, and a fan favorite. So the fact that the team would move on from him so suddenly feels almost surreal. One has to wonder if there were issues off the field or disagreements about the direction of the defense that the public doesn't know about yet. Sometimes these moves come down to more than just performance and salary. It could be about team chemistry, coaching preferences, or even internal conflicts. Unfortunately, the Cowboys haven't released detailed explanations, leaving fans and analysts to speculate wildly. The financial angle here is also fascinating. In the NFL, managing the salary cap is a constant balancing act, and sometimes teams have to make difficult choices to avoid getting handcuffed in future seasons. That $120 million contract might have looked like a lock, but if the Cowboys found themselves pressed against the cap or had other priorities to address like offensive upgrades or re-signing other key players, releasing Diggs could have been a painful but necessary move. This move also signals a possible philosophical shift in how the Cowboys want to build their defense. Maybe they are planning to focus more on a collective unit, prioritizing depth and versatility over star power, or perhaps they want to develop younger players who can grow into bigger roles. Whatever the case, the defensive landscape in Dallas is about to look very different. And for Cowboys fans, it raises big questions. Who will step up to fill that void? Who will cover the elite receivers in the division? The pressure is now squarely on the coaching staff and general manager to identify the right moves to keep this defense competitive. And what about Trevon Diggs himself? This is a huge moment in his career. At 26 years old, he is entering his prime years, and there's no doubt he will be a sought-after player on the open market. His skill set is rare, a true ball hawk who can flip the field with an interception and completely disrupt an opposing offense's rhythm. There are already whispers and early talks about which teams could be interested in acquiring him, whether through trade or free agency. Teams that need a shutdown cornerback and someone who can make big plays on defense will be lining up to make offers. It wouldn't be surprising to see him end up on a team with a strong defensive culture or a veteran quarterback who could utilize his skill in critical situations. For Cowboys fans, the thought of Diggs suiting up against Dallas in a rival uniform is tough to swallow, but it's an inevitable part of the business. It will be interesting to see how Trevon reacts publicly, whether he speaks out about the situation, expresses gratitude toward Dallas, or simply focuses on the next chapter of his career. Fan reactions have been explosive. Social media exploded the moment the news broke. On Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, and fan forums, people are expressing disbelief, frustration, and even anger at the front office for letting go of a player many thought was a future Hall of Famer in the making. Some fans are questioning the decision-making process and whether the Cowboys management is making the right calls to build a championship contender. Others are hopeful that this move signals a bold, new strategy that could pay off in the long run if the team manages to acquire strong replacements or develops young talent effectively. The intensity of the reaction speaks volumes about how important Trevon Diggs was to the Cowboys' identity. Memes, passionate posts, and heated debates about the team's direction have flooded the internet. This kind of reaction is exactly what happens when a star player suddenly leaves, especially when it feels unexpected and abrupt. Looking back historically, this kind of move, while shocking, is not entirely unprecedented in the NFL. There have been other star players who were released or traded shortly after signing big contracts due to various reasons: cap issues, off-field controversies, or strategic shifts. Players like Khalil Mack and Antonio Brown come to mind, where their time with certain teams ended abruptly despite their talent. Those situations were often messy and complicated behind the scenes. In Trevon's case, we don't have all the details, but the Cowboys' decision certainly fits into this rare category of major surprises that change the narrative of a team almost overnight. It also highlights the harsh reality of the NFL: no contract is guaranteed forever, and the business side can often outweigh loyalty or past performance. So what should Cowboys fans expect moving forward? The front office is now faced with a huge challenge. The defense needs to be restructured quickly, and the team has to find ways to replace the production and leadership that Diggs brought to the table. The draft and free agency will be critical moments in the offseason as the Cowboys search for defensive backs and playmakers to fill this void. Rumors suggest the team might also explore trades or veteran free agents to shore up the secondary. Coaching adjustments will likely be made too, with defensive coordinators tweaking schemes to maximize the talents of whoever steps in. The pressure is immense, but the Cowboys have a history of resilience and adaptability, so there's cautious optimism that this shakeup could lead to a stronger, more balanced defense in the near future. Ultimately, this is a pivotal moment not just for Trevon Diggs, but for the Dallas Cowboys franchise as a whole. It's a bold and surprising move that will reshape the team's identity. For Trevon, it's an opportunity to prove himself all over again on a new stage. For Dallas, it's a test of how well the team can pivot, adapt, and rebuild without one of its brightest defensive stars. If you're a Cowboys fan, this is a roller coaster of emotion: shock, confusion, hope, and anticipation. One thing's for sure, this story isn't over. The coming weeks will bring more updates, analysis, and likely more surprises. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned because I'll be bringing you all the breaking news, expert breakdowns, and all the Cowboys content you need to stay in the loop. Thanks for hanging out and diving deep into this bombshell with me. Drop your thoughts below. Were you shocked by this move? What do you think motivated the Cowboys to make such a bold decision? And who do you think should be the next defensive star for Dallas? I'm eager to hear your takes. Until next time, stay loyal, stay passionate, and as always, go Cowboys.